From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, February the 13th, 2024. As intense fighting continues in Gaza between Israeli troops and terror group Hamas, the IDF announced 3 casualties today. They are 36-year-old Lieutenant Colonel in Reserve Netanel Yaakov El-Kobi, 30-year-old Major in Reserve Yair Cohen, and 27-year-old Sergeant First Class in Reserve Ziv Chen. IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant Colonel Herzi Halevi gave an assessment of the Gaza ground operation at the 4-month mark today, lauding the IDF's achievements thus far, but saying there is still a way to go. Halevi also praised the daring rescue mission of the 2 Israeli hostages Sunday night, saying after the success of this operation, it is important to remember 2 things. When we started the operation, we did not know for sure that it would be successful. He said, every week we carry out such special operations while risking lives in complex conditions with great uncertainty to try and return abductees home. This time we succeeded. There were other missions, Halevi said, that did not succeed, vowing we will not stop trying, and we will do it with great responsibility. Israeli media reports that talks to try and advance an agreement between Israel and terror group Hamas taking place in Cairo are said to be making progress, aiming to reach a deal that would see an extended pause in fighting in Gaza for the release of hostages. Present for the talks today were reportedly the head of the CIA and the head of Israel's Mossad. The IDF conducted counter-terror operations in the West Bank last night, arresting a number of wanted terrorists, including, it said, a senior Hamas official. The IDF said that he was one of the leaders of the military infrastructure of Hamas in Jenin, and that he was recently involved in a number of shooting attacks against IDF forces and planned to carry out additional attacks. And the IDF said it thwarted a terror attack in the West Bank today, saying that a Palestinian terrorist tried to run over civilians at the Gush Etzion junction. The IDF started chasing the terrorist and shot him. He was caught and handed over for further questioning, also finding a knife in the man's car. A 47-year-old Israeli woman and her 15-year-old son were seriously injured when a rocket fired by Iranian-backed Lebanese-based terror group Hezbollah hit the northern Israeli city of Kiryat Shmona this morning. The 2 were taken via helicopter to the hospital for treatment. The IDF responded today, saying that fighter jets attacked a number of military buildings of Hezbollah in which the organization's terrorists were operating, as well as an observation post and other infrastructure. The U.S. Senate passed the National Security Supplemental Bill today that includes aid to Israel. The $95.34 billion bill passed 70-29. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said it's been years since the Senate has passed a bill like this that so greatly impacts not just our national security, not just the security of our allies, but also the security of democracy. Schumer saying with this national security bill, the Senate keeps its word to Ukrainians in need of supplies, to innocent Palestinian civilians in need of relief, to Israelis in need of support, and to U.S. service members on patrol in the Indo-Pacific, the Red Sea, and around the world. The bill now heads to the House. Well, the American Jewish Committee released its annual State of Anti-Semitism in America report, with data collected from surveys conducted at the end of last year, soon after the October 7th massacre. Some key findings in the report include that the vast majority of American Jews feel that anti-Semitism is a problem in the United States today. It found that 63% of American Jews say the status of Jews in the U.S. is less secure compared to 1 year ago. 78% of American Jews who heard about the Hamas terrorist attacks in Israel say the attacks made them feel less safe as a Jewish person in the U.S. 46% of American Jews saying they altered their behavior out of fear of anti-Semitism. AJC CEO Ted Deutsch saying if before October 7th, Anti-Semitism was a slow-burning fire. It has now become a 5-alarm emergency that requires all of us to douse its flames. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, February the 13th. At 7 o'clock, Rochelle L, president of Dillard University, discusses revitalizing its National Center for Black-Jewish Relations and how the communities can unite to fight racism and anti-Semitism, part of Moment's Wide River Project. At 8, Benjamin Anthony sits with Iris Haim, the mother of Yotam, who was kidnapped by Hamas on October the 7th and tragically killed in a heartbreaking IDF operational miscalculation. At 9:30, Tamir Goodman is on Rabbi on the Sidelines, and then at 10, it's Talia Caldwell on Rabbi on the Sidelines. And coming up next, the ILTV's Insider. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, February the 13th, 2024. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.